Deshaun Watson's surprise comeback could turn the Browns' quarterback battle into Kevin Stefanski's worst headache yet. A storm is brewing in Cleveland. In Cleveland, quarterback controversies aren't rare. They're practically a seasonal tradition. But this year's storm feels different. It's bigger, louder, and potentially more volatile than anything Browns fans have seen in decades. At the center of it all, Deshaun Watson, the team's highest-paid quarterback, a man once considered a franchise savior, now coming off a devastating torn Achilles. Months ago, whispers suggested Watson might not take a single snap in 2025. His career in Cleveland looked like it might be over before it ever truly began. Even Browns owner Jimmy Haslam publicly admitted that the mega-trade and record-breaking contract for Watson had been a massive swing and a miss. That sort of comment from an owner about a current starting quarterback usually signals a clean break is coming. But Watson, he's not walking away. Instead, he's doing the unthinkable, fighting his way back, quietly but relentlessly. And now, his return is not only possible, it's probable. And that changes everything for head coach Kevin Stefanski. The long road back. When Watson tore his Achilles, it wasn't just a season-ending injury. It was potentially a career-altering one. At 29 years old, with a game built on mobility, pocket escapes, and off-platform throws, losing that explosiveness could have been a death sentence for his playing style. But Watson refused to let the narrative write itself. Obviously, I don't want to be hurt, Watson told reporters recently. But at the same time, using this moment to really focus on the details that I wouldn't focus on if I was rushing back. Those details became his obsession. While his teammates battled through the season, Watson was spotted in quiet, focused workouts with his longtime personal quarterback coach Quincy Avery. Away from the cameras, away from the noise. Every movement, every throw, every foot placement was part of a slow rebuild. This wasn't the Watson who had rocketed to stardom with the Houston Texans, but a reinvented version. More deliberate, more calculated, and, in his own words, way better than before. The clip that changed everything. Up until last week, Watson's return was still a maybe someday scenario. But then, a short, grainy clip dropped online, shared by my Mixtapez, that may have been Watson's first unofficial practice since the injury. It wasn't much, just a few seconds of footage. But for Browns fans, it was the equivalent of spotting land after months at sea. Around the same time, Browns insider Brad Stainbrook took to X, formerly Twitter, with an update. Hashtag Browns Deshaun Watson is inching closer and closer to a return to full health. It is expected that he'll be cleared to play at some point this season. Suddenly, the entire dynamic of the Browns' quarterback room shifted. What had been a four-man race became a six-man circus, and the ringmaster, Kevin Stefanski, just got handed a flaming torch. The Browns' QB room, from crowded to overstuffed. This isn't your average quarterback competition. This is an NFL version of musical chairs, with far more players than available seats. Before Watson's comeback rumblings, the battle already featured Joe Flacco, Kenny Pickett, Dylan Gabriel, and rookie sensation Shadur Sanders, with Tyler Huntley also lurking in the background. The Browns' unofficial depth chart tells a story of its own. Joe Flacco, Kenny Pickett, Dylan Gabriel, Shadur Sanders, Tyler Huntley, Deshaun Watson, unlisted due to injury. Even without Watson in the mix, this depth chart is a juggling act. With him, it's chaos. Shadur Sanders, the rookie who won't go away. And here's where it gets even messier. Because rookie Shadur Sanders isn't just another arm in camp. He's already turned heads across the league. In his preseason debut, Sanders went 14-for-23 for 138 yards and 2 touchdowns, drawing praise from everyone from WNBA legend Dawn Staley to LeBron James himself. Impressive, Stefanski admitted after the game. And he's not wrong. Sanders looked poised, sharp, and unafraid of the moment. But here's the catch. As good as Sanders was, the Browns still slotted him fourth on the depth chart. That's a clear signal he's the future, but not the present. And yet, if Watson's return eats into valuable practice reps, Sanders' development could stall. It's a problem no one in Cleveland wanted to have, but one that Stefanski now can't avoid. The injured veterans, Pickett and Gabriel. Both Kenny Pickett and Dylan Gabriel have been sidelined with hamstring injuries, creating openings for other quarterbacks to shine. But Stefanski confirmed this week that both are trending upward. Dylan can do some 11 on 11. We're still mindful of his tightness in the hamstring. Kenny, not just yet, but both guys are progressing well, Stefanski told reporters. The implication: they'll both be ready to compete for the starting job soon, making the race even tighter. The September 7th deadline. The Browns open their regular season against the Cincinnati Bengals on September 7th. That's less than a month away. By then, Stefanski must name a starter. But the truth is, the decision might not be about who wins the job. It might be about who survives the battle without getting injured, outplayed, or politically outmaneuvered. If Watson continues to progress and gets medically cleared, he'll have every reason and every incentive to demand the starting job back. But doing so would mean displacing veterans who have taken every practice rep, every preseason snap, and every ounce of media scrutiny while he rehabbed. Watson's chip on his shoulder. Watson knows the critics are circling. He's heard the talk that he'll never return to the player he was in Houston, the one who threw for 4,823 yards in a single season and earned 3 Pro Bowl selections. Everyone is doubting me. Everyone doesn't believe in me, Watson said. They don't think I can get back to where I was. I know, and I believe. I know I'm going to be way better than before. When you get knocked down to the ground and get back up, walk through the rain, that brings out the real and the fire you had inside you. That fire might be enough to make him dangerous again, not just to opposing defenses, but to Stefanski's carefully laid quarterback plans. The Stefanski dilemma. Kevin Stefanski now faces one of the most politically sensitive quarterback decisions in the NFL. Start the rookie Sanders and you risk alienating veterans. Start Watson and you risk derailing Sanders' development and alienating the locker room. Start Flacco or Pickett and you might have a mutiny from the fan base. In a perfect world, Watson would stay sidelined until 2026, Sanders would develop quietly, and Stefanski could manage a stable rotation. But this isn't a perfect world. This is Cleveland. And in Cleveland, stability is a luxury no head coach can afford for long. The big question: when September 7th arrives, will the Browns roll out Watson, fresh off a career-threatening injury and months of rehab, or will Stefanski keep him as a mid-season weapon, ready to unleash if the early starters falter? That's the decision hanging over the team. And the truth is, there may be no right answer. Because in Cleveland, quarterback controversies don't end. They just evolve.